So good morning everybody, and a very warm welcome to Mildenhall and Vollmer. And today you join me in a very unusual place, in the sense of you never see this view, but you're basically joining me outside in the communal garden area of my flat. And today the reason why I'm out here is to do a video from which Jerry over at Kampala Road had asked me about, and it's to do with my back scenes. And he'd asked me how I do my back scenes, and today is going to be a quick demo, literally a quick demo, because that's all it really needs to be, really, because it's very quick, it's very easy to do, anybody can do it. So I thought I'd give you a quick demonstration in live real time, and then if any of you would like to use this demo and use this video to create your own back scenes, then by all means feel free to do so. I must say that I can't actually take credit for this technique because it's not really my idea. I got it off Andy Peters, and like I said before, he did do an excellent tutorial on it, but I'm going to just give you a quick basic demo because that's all literally I can do. He did do a demo in which you can enhance your back scenes further, but I'm just going to give you a quick basic demo of how to do a mottled sky effect, and then I'll show you afterwards how I've dressed it on my own personal layout. Now, the reason, there's lots of back scenes out there on the market that you can use, and people use all sorts. You've got things like Gauge Master, ID back scenes, and then after this people just do plain blue back scenes, and then there's the ones that, like myself, have decided to go to the mottled back scenes. Now, I've tried the Gauge Master stuff and it is good. Now, the reason why I've turned to this particular way of doing things is purely because for me, and I think it's more designed for, it's really great if you're a beginner because you can't really go wrong with this technique. It's so easy to do. And also, if you've got a large back scene, a large amount of back scenes to do, and sometimes the printed back scenes aren't either tall enough or long enough, this is a way of keeping your whole layout blended in all as one, rather than have those kind of lines where the back scene kind of just finishes there, and then you've got to try and blend it into something else. And that's happened to me over at Beringer on many occasions, and that's one of the reasons why I originally turned to just a plain blue back scene, and now, since I found this technique, I've now turned over to this technique. So what you'll need is basically a blue and a white spray can, as you can hear. Now, these are two spray cans that I got from Wilko's, cheap, like $4.99. Now, this particular blue one, I actually used this particular can to do Ringwood South, and because it's such a light spray on, one can will last you a very, very long time. It's not like you've got to go heavy-handed on it or anything like that. So this is the can from Ringwood South that I've now used to do the whole of Mildenhall and Vollmer. So that's how far this is stretched, and there's still just enough in it to show you this demo. This is also a gloss white as well, and this is kind of used like if you maybe make a mistake and you want to just paint over it and all the rest of it. So it's just basically an eraser, it's like a Tipp-Ex pen kind of thing. But to be honest with you, it's so easy. You'll hardly need that, to be honest, unless you want to experiment. So let's turn you over to the board, and I will show you how to do it. So what you can see in front of you is a plain piece of white hardboard, and that's all that is. You can get it, I got this particular piece from Wix's, and I believe Homebase don't actually do it anymore. You can also use card, actually, because I've used card, and I'll show it to you upstairs on my layout how I've used it with card. But I'm just going to show it to you, and I'm going to just spray it from an angle, and hopefully my head won't get in the way too much. So that's what I'm going to try and do. So I'm going to just spray it on, I'm going to show it to you from a vertical like this, but I'm actually going to spray it from the side here, and hopefully I just won't get in the way too much, and it will come out okay. Give the can a good shake. Let's see how that looks on the camera. I'm going to sort of zoom it out a bit more because that's probably better. Right, so that's as far out as it's going to go. lightly just go over it in the spray can. Now, as you can probably see, there's a tint and a hint of blue on that. So let's see if I can just show you. And that is kind of literally just about it. I don't know if you can come across. And if you take it to your layout, you can then sort of see whether or not it's too light. Now what I found is that I've done it like that, and it's best to start off nice and light. Take it to your layout, see what you think, and if you find that it's too light, then you just go over it again. Now I'm going to exaggerate it a bit more so you can see it. See, my foot's got caught in it. Probably not the best way to do it, but the thing is it dries instantly. So, I'll do that again. So hopefully this is picking it up. If I do it like that, hopefully you can see it. So now I've got a nice blue backscene. Now I didn't even need the white, because the white was just perfectly fine. I mean, I didn't need it because I didn't make any mistakes. I quite like this effect. Now you can take this up again to your layout once again, and you can see whether or not you like it or not. So I'm not exactly sure how well it came out on the demo, but that's how it's come out. And if I just zoom out, it's a nice sky effect, and that's all it is. And like I said, you've got the white paint. If you make a mistake and go too dark, just go over it again with the white paint, and then you just use that as an eraser, and then have another go with the spray can. And it's as simple as that. It really is. And like I said, it's best to start off nice and light, and basically take it to your layout, see what you think. And if you feel like you need to go darker, then go back over with the blue again and give it another going over. And it's just as simple as that, and it's just a quick, easy way of creating a backscene in minutes, well, in seconds really. So yeah, that's kind of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you upstairs to the layout, so you can have a look at my layout as it is, and I'll show you how I've dressed it. And then that will take us nicely to the layout update. So, see you shortly. So welcome to my Vollmer flat. Thankfully that demo didn't take very long, because I'm a little bit, it's a bit chilly. But thankfully the weather isn't as bad here as it is in some parts of the UK, so I'm grateful for that. It's bright, it's sunny, but it is cold. So let me just show you what I've just done, so you can see it in the terms of in the background in the home environment. And as you can see, that's how it's come across. Now this is actually quite light. I haven't gone too heavy with this. If I just go back, and it creates a nice sort of sky effect. So let me show you how it relates to my layout, and how it relates to how I've dressed it on the layout, and that will take us nicely onto the layout update. So here is the layout as a whole with the back scenes done. I think I showed this to you in my previous video, which is why we had a request on how I did it. But I just wanted to kind of show you really the update that I've been doing since I last saw you, because it does relate to the back scenes clearly, because as you can now see, we now have some greenery. All these trees were salvaged from Ringwood South, and if I'm going to zoom you in a bit, so bear with me a minute, and if I just show it to you like that, you can kind of see, I'll just wait for it to focus, there we go. You can see how the trees have made a big difference, and you can also see that I've started dressing the foreground of the plain back scene with some trees. So even without just having a plain blue sky effect like I've just showed you, you could dress it with some trees at the front, and you don't necessarily have to put anything else behind it. I plan to do a bit more to bridge the gap between those trees and that tree. Over in the far corner you can see my scratch build, which is just over there, and again that dresses the sky, and then after I've blended it in with another tree so you can't really see the edge of the building. Excuse me, and my apologies for that. And so these are things that you can use a plain back scene and it looks plain, but when you start dressing it with trees or with buildings in front of it or with roads and things like that, the back scene just kind of blends away. And like I said, I do prefer this effect to the plain blue effect, and I also kind of prefer it to the printed back scenes. Like I said, I think with this effect, if for any point in the future you decide that you want to extend the layout, you know that it's not going to be a difficult job to match the back scenes up with what you currently have. Whereas with printed back scenes, sometimes they go discontinued, or sometimes they just don't match, and sometimes it can be difficult to line them up and match them up or find a suitable back scene that you can blend in with the next one, which I found at Behringer. So at least with this technique, if I decide that in a year's time, 2 years time, 3 years time, whenever, to extend the layout, if I decide to ever do that, then I know that the technique I've used will just work. And the thing is, the piece in front of you, this piece here, is card. The piece behind is the white back, which is the white hardboard. So it shows you that between the two, there isn't actually that much difference. So if you wanted to buy MDF and painted it in white and then do this effect, you wouldn't notice the difference between a hardboard piece and a MDF piece, as is demonstrated with the fact that there's a hardboard piece at the back and a piece of card at the front. Now the piece of card at the front is there to basically block off the fiddle yard, as you can probably just about see in the corner, and that's just to hide those point work that runs behind there and to disguise that. And also the advantage with using card is that you can actually bend the card around to suit and curve it around to suit. So I'm just going to take you down a bit more. So as you can see in this view, it kind of looks really, really nice. That you can't see the plain wall, and it's just a nice plain, simplistic back scene, which is very quick, very easy to do, and you just have a train trundling around and it just looks lovely. Forgive me, because I know a few people have said I've been using the 60 quite a lot. It just so happens to be what's on the layout currently, and I'm kind of using it as a bit of a test train, and I just wanted to kind of sort of show you some of the effects that you can get. So I just thought that's a nice plain view, and I think the back scene really, really works lovely. I mean, at least for me it does. I mean, like I said, it's personal choice, and like I said, if you prefer the ID back scenes and the Gauge Master back scenes or whatever back scenes, printed stuff that people make, then that is absolutely fantastic. This is just the way that I find moving forward, at least for me, this is how I like to do my back scenes. So this concludes the end of the video, and I just wanted to say thank you very much for joining me, and for watching my video, and for taking the time to watch it and to comment on it, as it's always appreciated as per usual. And I hope that some of you will get something out of this, and I just think this technique of doing a back scene is such an easy way of doing it, that I just find it, instead of deliberately trying to pencil in clouds and trying to draw shapes, I think this is a far more natural look to it. And but like I said, it's each to their own. And so let me just sort of leave you with what I showed you. like I said, that's what we've done this morning, or what I've done this morning, the demo. And like I said, just to show you, it is a piece of hardboard. And like I said, this originally started out as a 4x2 piece of hardboard. And like I said, it's very lightweight. And the only thing about it, obviously, it's a bit, because it's so fine, it can be a bit flexible. But I haven't had any issues with it since I brought it into the flat anyway, because I never had any issues with it at Ringwood South. And then I just used the sliders to join the pieces together and keep it taut and straight. So until the next time, it's thank you from me, and thank you for joining me here at Mildenhall and Vollmer, and I hope you liked the demo, and I hope you liked the update as well. So until the next time, it's goodbye from Mildenhall and Vollmer. Bye bye.